up for Teams recording meeting yesterday. Okay, now it started. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Anyhow, yeah. So I have quite a bit of notes. Like that's one thing I feel like I have to do now. Like especially this week, like so many things happen. That we can talk about it. Um, do you have any question before we start?
No, I just wanted to just would like to listen rough, overview of what happened,
Mm-hmm.
especially with CPI and the rally after that, and how indices are looking.
Right. Okay. So okay, let's start looking at the general index. Let me share my screen here. All right. So I'm gonna jump to the index here. Um, okay, I'm gonna look at Dow just because it's the strongest, right? So I'm gonna actually pull out my markups for a second because I'm gonna jump back and forth here. But here's the one really big thing that happened this week. So yeah, so as you mentioned, like Thursday was the big day, was the CPI day, which was a huge gap up. You can see we closed here on Wednesday, and then we have this gap up, right? This huge gap up started right here and closed right here, right? Do you see the screen?
Yeah. I can see it.
Okay. So that was the big day, right? Obviously CPI went better than expected, and it came down to I think 7.7% was the year to year, right? Which is lower than the 7.9%. But here's what happened. So Wednesday was a huge shakeout. I think for me, my own portfolio, because it was such a big day, right? Down day. I think it was down, yeah, almost 2%. And that day I remember in the day, it started out strong. Let me go to a Google for some quickly here. So if I go to EIA stock here, and I'm just gonna bring up the 5-day here. And so this is Thursday, the big jump. But here you go, right? Like November 9, it started, okay, and then it just dropped the whole day. And so I remember, I think it was the crypto thing, right?
Right.
The crypto issue, FTX stuff, and that, as soon as that happened and I saw this happen, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a bad day, and it did become a bad day. And so what I did during the morning, like I can't remember exactly what time, but probably an hour into it or two, I start moving my stop losses up to the low of the day. And so I got knocked out a lot on my portfolio. I think more than half, um, like 60%, I would say, got stopped out. And so then I went into Thursday with only like roughly around 40% left, right? And unfortunately, I just, like, of course we know Thursday everything bounced, right? Um, and the one exception was, well, it did bounce energy. And I had a lot of energy stocks on Wednesday, but then, like I said, they all got stopped out because they all dropped pretty big that day. And then Thursday, um, as I was texting you, like, yeah, like energy was not the strongest that day. But then Friday, it actually became the strongest again. So it's really funny how this worked, right? Like there was a shakeout. Basically, what happened was a shakeout. I'm going to jump back to the index in a second, but since we're talking about energy, so this is XLE, and you can see Wednesday right here, huge drop, right? Even all the way past below the 10-day, and yeah, and oh, sorry, let me just get my temporary line here. 10-day right here, below the 10-day right here. And then you can see even on Thursday, it bounced back. It wasn't really strong, right? It didn't even recover more than half. But then Friday, it took off because of the China news that they're lessening the COVID, restriction policy, right? So that's what happened, but in my portfolio, I have dropped a lot of energy stocks, unfortunately. and because of Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
So when I bought back in on Thursday, and even Friday, I bought back a little bit more. I didn't buy back too many energy stocks, just because there were other stocks to buy. So
Yes, sir.
it's okay. So yeah, so that's what happened with energy. Like before we jump back to index, do you have any thoughts about energy?
Uh, not specifically, but yeah, I was watching XLE. I also got stopped out of XLE because of that drop, but haven't got back in. But looks like it recovered from there, right?
Yeah, so
That drop.
it recovered now, and it's very interesting because like I said, Wednesday, Thursday lag, but then Friday it really took off after the China loosening their COVID policy, and that also kind of because this is very key moment here is because of this breakout, like you can see this trend line here of the base, right?
Mhm.
Because that's the key. If it breaks out here, and even on Friday it didn't quite break out yet, so that's still determined right now. So but once it breaks out, I expect it to continue. But right now it seems like there's no, like Friday is a strong day. You can see volume slightly lower. So I don't know what's going to happen. Um, if you think longer term, the good thing is that energy stocks are, so one thing that has happened, you can see this big run, right? But the energy price hasn't changed much. I think oil is still like close to 890 or something. I can't remember. It might have jumped a lot on Friday. So let's see here quickly. Okay, so 88, like, yeah, it dropped back down Wednesday, Thursday. So it's around the mid 80 to close to 90. It's been ranging there for a while now. So but the good, like I said, what happened is that even though the price hasn't changed, the energy stocks have been doing a lot better, like which is XLE, right? So here you can see like it just stuck around 88, seems to be the medium. Like this is where it closed on Friday, but you can see it just fluctuate between 85 and 90 for the last 2 weeks. Um, well, it went as high as 92, but recently, but yeah, it hasn't gone much. But the energy stocks have gone up a lot. So
Mhm.
and then the reason why, and we can see all the stock. We'll look at some stocks in a second, but we can see some of the energy, like actually a lot of them are giving lots of dividends, and also and they're also making lots of cash flow, right? So their balance sheet are growing, and which is like very strong um, potential for continue to make money. And so investors love that. And the other thing that people are talking about right now is whether value will outperform growth stocks, right? And so some of these cyclical with high good balance sheet are gonna be considered high value stocks. And so it's kind of like the Buffett way, right? Like where they buy OXY kind of thing. So it's same thing here. You can see OXY, very similar chart, a little bit more volatile. You can see Wednesday drop big. Oh, it's probably related to earnings. But you see how fast it bounced back, right? So
Mhm.
same idea, like almost ready to break out kind of idea, right? So this stock pretty much are almost like XLE, except a little bit more volatile, but probably just because of the earnings. So we all know this is a stock that Buffett owns, and you can see even from this chart, it's building a huge base, right? Base right here, base right here, base right here, base right here. So it has base enough, is what I'm trying to say here. And this is the big uptrend right here before that. So we could potentially break out and have another big uptrend, right? So it looks like it's ready to do that, and that's what XLE, and we talked about this last week, where if we look at the long-term picture, so on the weekly chart, you can see it's very clear that it's ready to break out. We have this long run here. But if we look at the monthly chart, we talk about this, long-term, cycle here, right? It's like really long-term since like '08. And, we're getting closer now, right? We're getting close. And if it breaks, even this high, and then the second one will be to break this high, right, around $100, then it will take off. That will become a new bull cycle for, well, at least it's going to consider a new bull cycle above this trend line, right? So XLE still have lots of potential, especially given the companies are doing really well with their cash flow and balance sheet. So yeah, we'll look at some few energy stocks for sure. Let's jump back to any other stocks before I come back to the index.
No, I'm really looking forward to this breakout.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It might take like I say, the COVID thing in China is a huge. You can see how it react on Friday. If China, because there's rumor China is implementing, changing their policy, right? They don't want to do zero COVID policy anymore. They have anyhow, that's the rumor. I'm not sure if it's true, but so far a lot of people say it's true, right? They have a 3 month to implement, to shift away, right? It takes time for them to shift away, right? So so it might be a staggered shift, like it won't be like instant, right? But it might be like, from week to week, like month to month, they're slowly loosening the policy. So that could really, you can, like, if they keep talking about it over the next 3 months, what's going to happen to energy, right? They're going to keep going up. So that could be a trigger for that. And also there's a lot of talk, I don't know if it's true also, is the Ukraine war, right? That Ukraine might consider peace with Russia. So, of course, it's still all talk, but it seems like they might be getting tired, right? Both sides of having this war for so long. And of course, we hear that Ukraine is kind of doing very well right now. So it's also not in the best interest of Russia to continue this war, right? So anyhow, if that happens, we can see like rip across not just energy, right, across the whole market. But anyhow, that's a bigger, probably that would take even longer time. The same thing that won't happen overnight. It'll probably have they'll have to come to peace talks and stuff like that. They will set up meetings. So when we start seeing that, then there's a higher chance of that happening. But for at least for energy, it's more it's more tied to the COVID policy in China right now. It seems that at least that's how it reacts on Friday. So that I could see it continue to happen over the next few months if China really wants to shift away from zero COVID policy. Yeah. So coming back to this index. So one thing I noticed, like I said, Thursday, and this is what happened, right? It not only gap up, it just continued to rip throughout the day, right? And what happened was this long-term trend line, right? Which is the start of the bear, right? Start of the bear in January for Dow, and you can see every time it passed the 200-day, and we draw this trend line, it has hit resistance here. This time, you can see even the first time on Tuesday it hit it, and I remember I tweeted about it. I was like, wow, look at this. It passed the 200-day, like it tested here, fell, and then it came back within just a few days, right? That's really strong action. Usually it takes longer, but it just came back right away and breaks through 200-day again, and then make a new high, right? And make a new high, and that's when I'm like, oh, something is really happening. And then of course there's this long-term trend line, and it fell on that trend line, right? So first it tested 200-day, it fell. Then it came back up and tested this long-term trend line, and it fell. And then Thursday we have the CPI data, which really, according, I call it a game changer in my text to you. And the only reason why I say it's a game changer is because this is the first time that CPI data has gone down way more than expected this year. And I saw someone post on Twitter a chart that shows that it doesn't take much for inflation to go down, like going forward. So if every month the inflation go down by 0.2% month to month, I think in like a year, it'll be down to like really low, like 2.4%.
Wow.
Right? So if every month, like month to month, so we don't know if that's going to happen, like month to month. That means every month it has to drop more than the previous month, right? So by 0.2%. So if that happens, then then they'll be at 2% target, 2.4, I think was the number in 1 year from now. That was one of the charts I saw. So if that's happening, then yeah, obviously that's good news, So then the question now becomes like, December 14, I think that's the next CPI report, and that's the next Fed day, and then the CPI report is 13 on the 13th. So what will happen on that report, right? If that report shows that it comes down again, that's gonna be like, to me, that would be the second time it shows that, that's when people really have confidence that this inflation fight is over, right?
Mhm.
And everyone's talking about whether we have heat peak inflation, and a lot of analysts do, not all of them, obviously. There's still lots of bears who are shorting this market, and that's why we see these big moves right now, because there's so many people shorting the market. And the other thing I saw on Twitter was, again, I don't know if this is real. Twitter, you can you have to like everything on Twitter, you have to kind of think like, with 50% only trust kind of thing. But there was one chart that shows the premium on puts are at all-time highs since like, I think 08 or 09 or something like that. So there's so many people buying puts right now because they don't believe in this rally, and the premium that whoever sell it, that they collect, is at the highest level. It's just so much demand for puts right now, and that could even make this rally go further faster, because people are gonna be covering their, selling their puts and then covering their whatever, if they're shorting, right? So that's why we're seeing this big move right now. Now, with that being said, Thursday and Friday, most of the stocks that rip are the growth stocks from the past. Unfortunately, most of the newer names didn't participate as well. But doesn't mean the rally is not going to work. It just might take some more time. But we'll look at some stocks that I feel like, could be the leaders, and they did, they not, like I say, they didn't. When I say participate, I'm not saying they didn't participate. It's just not as strong. Like, for example, all the art fund stocks, right? They all went up over double digits, right? And we can quickly jump to art for a second.
Sure.
Like, it's so small on the chart, but if I hover over it, on Thursday it jumped 14%. On Friday it jumped over 8%. That's a 22% accumulate. Compound is probably 25% in 2 days.
Mhm.
That's a significant jump. The other thing you would notice is how this, it's probably harder to draw a trend line, but if I just draw a rough trend line roughly around here, which is around the 50-day, you can see it broken above it clearly, right? So that could be a good momentum for the ARX type of stocks. So again, these stocks really, they came down the most during this bear because of inflation, and they're going to be the ones who go up the most as well if inflation is subsiding. So it's um I don't know. Like, I'm not participating in any of them. So, but for those who are willing to take more risks, these are the kind of stocks that could rip, right? Because inflation is over now, and they could be way oversold, is what I'm trying to say. And now they're just going to come back to some medium level, where I don't know what is the medium level, where people feel is more value. This was the previous high, $53 an hour. Right now it's 40. So it could go as high as 53, and then the next level will be like 72. So that and same thing with the stocks that are, related to that. The one stock that I noticed, Tesla, didn't really move as much. It did move, it's just not as much as, like, as what we saw in the art fund. So 7% on Thursday, 2% on Friday, right? So, and the funny thing is, it's still under the 10-day moving average. So this is not a good indicator right here. It's still in a downtrend. But we look at, like, I was surprised how much Amazon jumped, like, in 2 days. Look at that, like, it jumped 14%, and 12% on Thursday, Friday 4%. So this one now is already back to 21-day and above 10 days. So at least short term it looks strong, right? Whereas Tesla is just terrible. Microsoft, look at this rip rally. Holy smokes, it's just going really, really fast right now. So I guess what I'm trying to say, so we look at Dow Jones. We are above 200-day. We broke the long-term trend. That's a bull signal. There's no doubt that's bull signal, and that's where most of my portfolio is. Like a lot of it is industrial stocks. And if I look at, sorry, go ahead.
One more thing. If we see,
Mhm.
see last 2 times when it times to break that pink line, 35,492 and 34,281, what was the volume? And
Okay.
look at the volume right now.
So let's look at this one here. Really low.
Yeah.
Look at this new high. Really low. Yeah, you're right.
See, it's not
Yeah.
even above the average.
Yeah, you're right.
And
You're
look
right.
at last 2 days.
Yes, that's a very good observation, right? And then here you can see it's like below average. And then here you can see super low, right? Super low. So yeah, and thing I tweeted before about even the earlier trend. For example, like this big day reversal, right? You can see the volume right there. This one 1.2 billion, right? Which is this one. And then this day that went above 200-day. Let me see that one. That one might be lower. Yeah, so that one a little bit lower. But in general, it's there's definitely more, volume on the upside than downside. There's only one up day, which is this day right here. I can't remember that day. What happened? That was more than a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Anyhow, so that's the current state right now. So Dow Jones, as we have mentioned before, it is the strongest index. Of course, it didn't go up as much when compare absolute value, but in terms of the trend, it's the strongest, right? It was one of the earliest. So really, the other indexes like S&P and Nasdaq is catching up right now. So right now, you can see, we have this same upper trend line, and right now we just here, right? So we broke above this short-term trend line right here, and then we have this rip, right? So same thing here. So now it's going to 200 days. So that's why a lot of analysts are saying 4,100 around that level, for roughly around 4,100 or 4,070 or so. That's where the next test is, right? Yeah. Does this make sense?
That's 50-day line or
That's 200-day line. The
200.
black line is 200, yeah. So right now we're way above 50-day now. So that's good. So all the short-term trend lines are going up, right? The 50-day will trend up. Like it's flattened, but it's gonna trend up, right? As long as as it doesn't go down much. So that's where it is right now, the 50-day. But the 10, 21 day is trending up. So it's gonna hit this 200-day. So S&P is the second strongest index for the major cap stocks. So here you go. And then so 4,100 is where most people think. If like if you listen to Tom Lee, he just came out with Friday that he thinks he could go up to 4,400 level. And the reason how he came out with that number was he said that the June rise was 20%, and he thinks that it will be at least 25% this time. Okay, and the reason is obvious, is because all the inflation numbers have come down, right? So if that rally was just because they hope that Fed will change or pivot or whatever, and that has no number to prove it. Whereas this one, we already have one number to prove it. So it should be stronger rally, right? So that's what he's saying. But obviously he's been wrong a lot this year. So but right now he's obviously right. So who knows? He could be right now because things have changed. So that's where he thinks, and that again, this is the 4,300 level, which is the previous peak here. So a lot of people think it would at least test this number. So, but in the short term, we are going to see 4,100 as some sort of resistance here, and then this rally will probably pause there for a few days or so, and then before it tries to go higher. But once it goes above this 200-day, to me, that's a change in trend, right? Now, it doesn't mean this bear market is over, because ultimately for this bear market is over, technically, it has to break the high, right? So no one, a lot of analysts are not going to call this a bull market until it break this high.
Yeah.
So which is 4,800, right? But but right now we're just going with the trend. So the momentum is going upward. So so those are the resistance level. And then that sorry, Nasdaq. So Nasdaq obviously is the weakest index, and that's why it has the biggest gain on Thursday and Friday, because it's catching up right now, right? And we can see it's catching up to the same thing, this 200-day line. So you can see the long-term trend that I draw across the top is also aligning now with the 200-day going down, right? So those two lines are very important, and it has this much to go. So like 12,000 right now, we're at 11,323. So it's not a lot, like 7% roughly, right? 6-7% away. It could happen. It could catch up really fast. Like I say, it could continue to go this coming week. Who knows? It has gone really hard the last 2 days. So and with with the fact that puts are so many people are demanding puts, means that people don't believe in this rally, and that could continue to be counterintuitive to the market, and that could make the market go higher as people trying to short this market, because if they're wrong, they have to cover, right? So that will push this market even higher faster. And I think one of the stats that a lot of people throw around was Thursday was 7% gain, was one of the top 15 days in history. And out of the 15 days, something like, I don't know, 13 days or 13 out of 15 was happened in bear markets, and only 2 happens out of market. And that actually maybe the stats a little bit maybe only the last 50 years or something. I can't remember, not the whole history. But the last time this happened was, I think, if we go back to 2020, it happened there. It was actually, there were 2 days where it happened. I think, yeah. So right here, 8%, March 24th, right off the low. So this is during the COVID time, 8%. So that was the actual low, right? And then another day was April 6th, 7.3%. Right. So okay. So this also reminds me of one thing. So we have these 2 big days, which signify what they call, like, we had the first follow through day here according to IBD style investor, and then the second follow through day was here. So it's like a confirmation of the follow through, right? And we had that. So if we go back to recent days, and this is why, so I'll show you what happened with IBD signals, was that here you go, right? So Nasdaq, it went up, it didn't break this low, right? And so we had this, I believe one of this day, I can't remember which day. I think it's the 7th day right here, 2%. That was the follow through day. So because it doesn't need, like, it only needs like 1.5% or something like that, 1.25%, and high volume, and which they did. And so that is considered a follow through day. But then it obviously came back down, and then market went into under pressure according to IBD. And then this Thursday was the second follow through day, right? So high volume, high gain. So we have the same thing. We have 2 big volume day gain, and those are the 2 follow through days. So this is the second follow through day, which is a confirmation of the first one. So that is a really good sign that this rally is going to take place, continue, right? It's because usually it will fail, and it almost looked like it will fail, at least on the Nasdaq. For Dow, it didn't, right? For Dow was the strongest. It just like a straight up line like that. But for Nasdaq, it's you can see now it's trying to play catch up. We'll just look at IW Russell really quick. And Russell, if we look at weekly just quickly here, the trend lines are not as obvious. So, like, whereas this one went a lot lower than this one, like you can't really draw. You can draw this trend line, I guess, right here, which is also aligned with the 200-day. So right now we're just on the cups of it. So, but on the daily chart, you can see it kind of went above it, which is kind of similar here. But again, I think you mentioned a good point. Like, it does have, so volume here was kind of low on this high, whereas the volume is really high here on both days. So yeah, so that's good. So this could take off, right? And yeah, and this is the smaller caps, guys. So they there's a lot of energy in that smaller cap category. So that could also do well. Yeah. Any other comment about this?
No, it looks good. Yeah. So basically, like path of what I can summarize is path of least resistance looks like up right now, right?
Yeah, it has broken the resistance line in and in Dow's case and in Russell's case is 200-day, right? Above 200-day. In the S&P and Nasdaq's case, they're way above the 50-day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see S&P pretty close to 200-day now. It's more than halfway, right? It's more than halfway. Halfway is right here. So and then same thing with Nasdaq, right? Nasdaq is definitely the laggard right now. But like I said, it could play catch up big, because and then a lot of tech stocks just got hammered, right? So
Right.
you can see, it's really still it's not even halfway yet. So so one of the reasons why people think there could be a rally also is because there's nothing economically sensitive in the next few weeks, like no big reports. The next report will be unemployment. There might be a PCE report, but most people, unless that number is very different than what people expect, it's not going to make much difference. It's less important than the CPI. But that talk about how consumer spendings are, right? So that could have impact, right? Because right now, let's just say we think long term, right? Let's just say inflation are starting to come down and we have peaked. Well, inflation is coming down, that's great news, but we need to make sure the economy is not going to crash or not going to have a hard landing, deep recession. And that's what the next thing to worry about is that, right? So no one is projecting that right now, so that's a good thing. So everyone is expecting a soft landing as long as the Fed doesn't keep raising hikes like crazy, right? And that's what this market will assume, I think, going forward, is that this market most likely will assume that the Fed is going to start to tone down, and it could happen in December, especially given this number. But again, so we talk about this. We have CPI report now. We have one more in December, and then we have the unemployment for November. So those three reports are going to be the key in how they're going to tone on what their tone is on the next Fed meeting. And if all three are really good in terms of like, if unemployment is going down and going up, and as long as it doesn't go up too much, right? And that's the thing, like, we want inflation to go down as fast as possible. We want unemployment go up just a little bit, like just enough to tell the Fed that things are slowing down, and that would be the perfect storm, right? The perfect data for the Fed to say, hey, I'm going to slow down now, and that's going to be a good sign for growth stocks, and specifically probably tech stocks and stuff like that. And so the good sign, like I said, we look at it and we're seeing all the big cap techs are bouncing back really strong. That's a good sign. Obviously, we kind of talked about this last week. We said, it's been oversold, and it did, and so now it's bouncing back. And other than Tesla, I think they all perform well this week. Let me just look at Google one more time here. Yeah, they all perform well. Uh,
Yeah.
so the big five, right? Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. Yeah. So those
Yeah.
are those five are like, so those are like, what people deem as secular growth. So if we're not going to have a big recession, then these stocks will fly again. And we talked about this last week, like, can the market fly without them? No, I don't think so. That's what I said last week. And so if the market, thinks that inflation is peak and the Fed will eventually change their tune, then these guys were gonna rip, they're gonna rip because these are the biggest stocks, right? And the market cap size is huge. So institutions want to pile back into these stocks, especially at these kind of prices.
Mhm. For Tesla, there is a special case because right now Elon is selling shares.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
so last night earlier this week he filed Form 4, which showed that he sold about 6 billion of
okay. Wow.
yeah. But last night he did not, so I think he's done selling as of now. That's what the buzz is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
And
could be
one
taken.
weird story, it's a conspiracy theory I heard, is basically um, so Elon wants to make the Twitter to handle a lot of transactions, like monetary transactions. And there is a company called Four, which is there in our your custom tool list. It's trending up.
Mm.
That company is around $4 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and tweet like Elon doesn't need actual money right now for Twitter
Mm-hmm.
deal because he already secured that funding, but there is a talk that he might acquire that.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's exactly $4 billion. And this was just a rumor, but yeah.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they are
Um.
doing a lot of payment related stuff. Actually, the owner of Shift 4 Payments is
Mhm.
also flew on SpaceX last flight. Yeah, so he's the
Okay.
founder.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Really
But
high.
this is just a
Yeah.
rumor.
Yeah.
But
Really,
but
really good technical chart right now.
yeah. But one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. Last week was also elections, right? And
Yes.
the red wave, the kind of red wave that everyone expected didn't happen. But if you can open SOXL, I wanted to talk
What's it called?
about SOXL. So it's basically triple leveraged ETF on semiconductors.
Oh yeah. This one,
Yeah.
right? Bull.
Yeah. So I
Bull
I
sim.
was I was hoping that red wave will come and that would be really nice for SOXL. It looked oversold to me, so I bought some and it
Nice, nice.
did really good because it's triple leverage. One day it was I think Thursday it was 30% up,
Wow. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Friday it was 12% up.
Yeah. Yeah. 30%. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's a good call. Yeah, because they have been oversold a lot, like and
Yes, yeah.
yeah. So that's good. Really nice. Yeah, this could be I saw on Twitter that this could be the potential group of leaders now, right? And there's lots of new, like, kind of newer names, like you can call it, that could lead this market. So yeah, no, those are good. This is good. And if it even come back to 200-day, it's almost like the Nasdaq, right? It went up above the
Hmm.
50-day, and now it still have a long way to climb to 200-day. But like I said, this Nasdaq and a lot of tech stocks, especially the semiconductors, they're the ones who got hit the hardest, and now they're coming back the fastest, right? So no, this is good. It could, yeah, this trend definitely could, continue as long as this inflation story is happening. Yeah. Um, but I guess the only thing I would say is right now, this, I don't know about this coming week, whether the
Hmm.
market will pause or whether some negative news will come out to make this market pause. Um, because it has run so hard for 2 days, right? Very
Hmm.
seldom do we see market run, you know, 3 days, 4 days strong. Like
Right.
even one day is tough, right? Like obviously in this bear market, we only see at most one day. So now we see 2 days, strong days. Are we going to see 3 days? Maybe. But and then I don't know what's going to happen, right? So I think it might be good to take profit is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Just because like right here you can see 2 days right here. That was the
Yeah.
June, like near June. Really strong bounce, and then it kind of petered out.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but more if the inflation story is true, it probably goes sideways and before it goes higher. But I don't know. But if you have big gains, obviously you can have more cushion to sit it out and wait for it. The only risk I see with chip stocks is the fight against China, right? They're both trying to limit each other's capacity on the tech sector. And there's I don't know enough about that story but they could hurt each other is what I'm trying to say, right? It's like intentional, right? It's like, hey, US don't want China to have these chips, and China gonna say, I'm not gonna give you this material for these chips, and they both could hurt each other real bad. So that's the only risk I can see going forward. Which could happen big time because they're really at war with each other about who's gonna be the tech titan in the next 5-10 years, right? So both of them are not going to give that up. They both want to be the tech titan because that's the future. So that's where the risks are. I don't know, but bull markets have never gone up without the chip sector. So that, with that being said, so if you believe in a new bull market, then the chips should do well. So yeah. We can. Do you want to jump to stocks right now? We can look at this group.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah.
So I have my list here from the tool I download, and one of the things that we can see is if I hold on, let me go back to this one because this one I have most of them highlighted. But let's just filter out the stocks. Actually, no. What do I want to do? Okay, let's use this one. Doesn't just omit the highlight stuff. Don't worry about that. But we want to look at tech, for example. Okay. So you can see the industry group here. So SMCI, really strong stock. I don't really know the fundamental story behind this, but it's definitely the top leading stock. It's number 1 right now on my list. And it broke out right here and it's going up, right? So if I use this tool here, and I'm just going to show you where potential buy points are. So this is the computer I think they do let me just read it. This optimized server systems. Okay. It doesn't say this is very general, yeah. So anyhow, yeah, let's come back to this. So here you go, right? So we have this, this uptrend right here nicely, and now it consolidated. We have this one big up day, and then it's going to consolidate here, which is perfect. Like that's exactly what you want to see. Because if I come back to this chart here, you can see right here, this big up day, it holds the low, right? So if you buy on this breakout day, I usually set the stop at the low of that day. It holds that. Look at that. It was picture perfect, right? And then what happened was we have this bounce right here. So we have this down day, and then we have this white triangle, which is like a bounce, but it didn't make a new high. So that's why it's not a solid triangle. And then the next day, it make a new high, right? So, what I usually would do is when I see that white triangle, meaning it bounced, so I always want to make sure I make a new high as well before I buy it. So I would set alert that day in the morning. And then obviously you can see it opened up a little bit higher right there. You could buy, right? So that's the secondary buy point. So if you didn't buy on this breakout, this is now the secondary buy point. So that's what this chart is doing. And it's still small company, I think. Yeah, 4 billion. But this is the kind of medium cap or roughly around 5 billion cap. Those are the big ones. So when we look at the weekly chart, is a nice the market, of course, this year is a bear market, right? So you have to remember that. And so what we saw is that it consolidate. It goes higher, it's consolidate, right? Because it just couldn't go higher because the market is weak, right? And then it goes higher and then consolidate again. So it has 3 consolidation already. You know, but each time it consolidates, it still make gains, which is unbelievable. And now, you know, it's going higher now, and it's 11% from this point. So we can almost guarantee it will go up to 20% minimum, right? But if this market were to take off, this guy would take off, like for sure. Like, you know, volume has been increasing. You can see that too on this high volume bar. This is the highest volume on this breakout. Usually on breakouts, when you see highest volume, that's a really good sign, because it means that the people who wants to sell, like, you know, previously who bought here, you know, at the highs, they all want to get out just because they think, you know, maybe they already, you know, they went through this correction and they just want to get out. And so a lot of those people are gone. And then you have other people willing to buy it, right? So at this price. And then, you know, one of the things that I learned a lot is that always look at the week after what happens. And this is exactly what happened. It didn't give up, you know, most of the gains from the breakout. That's the key, right? It stays above it, right? So the bar right here, it stays above the breakout point. That's a strong sign of accumulation, because people not willing to let it get back to the previous buy point, right? Most stocks, like I think IBD says that their research shows 50% of them breaks out will come back and test this buy point, right? Whereas this one, it didn't. So those are really strong sign of someone behind the scene will buy every time it drop, and that's what happens. So and then now you can see it's starting to move again, and so yeah. So this is the trend. Like I said, I would say 25% is going to be easy to reach. But I think if the market is strong, it's gonna go higher. Like, you know, this is the third consolidation in such a short time frame. Like it just shows the demand is so high for this stock. So something's happening for this stock. So I have now 2 positions. I have 1 position when they break out, and I bought on this bounce on the pullback. So now I have 2 positions on this stock. So yeah, let's go down, like AEHR, like those are, you know, pretty much chip equipment, chip stock. AMKR, RMBS really strong. That one. So this is sort by performance, right? So this is based on like October 13, the low. So I just see which one is performing the best since the low of the index. And, you know, yeah, these guys are really strong. RMBS, ACLS onto. I got into LSCC on Friday. I think Friday or Thursday. I can't remember. Yeah, it broke out right here. See this trend line? That's the long-term trend line. Short-term trend line is right here. So huge jump on Thursday, Friday continue. So now it's you know, it's really, you know, trying to break out now. So on the high right here. So but it's a really fast move. So I don't know how much more it's gonna move. So there's some risk there. And yeah, it might. So this is the 10-day line right now. It's really strong slope. So it could pull back and gives you another opportunity to buy. But so these are the tech stocks, right, that are showing strength. GFS, yeah, this one is not bad. GFS, you know, obviously is performed not as well this year as many people has hoped. It's an IPO stock, but I feel like, you know, because the same thing, right? Like the market is really weak, and so, you know, and then here, so I'm just drawing out the base here, and, you know, you can see it's way volatile compared to the other stocks we just talked about, and this is not small, 35 billion cap. So yeah, it's very interesting. But on the daily chart, it looks a little bit better. It's still, but weekly chart is just crazy. Yeah, it does move really fast as well. So what I noticed is a lot of them are, you know, starting to break out. A lot of the chip stocks, related stocks, are ready to break out. So I'm not sure we're going to test it. And most likely it will. That's why I think next week might be a pause. It might pull back before it breaks out the following week. I don't know, something like that. Because it just gains too much in 5-6 sessions here, and most of the chip stocks have done that. BDC, this one is a telecom stock. This one also show up on my screen like, yeah, this guy broke out, really nice. This, it pulls back, but look at this, right? It just found support right here at the 10-day, and then here's the Wednesday. It pulled back as well and then bounced off now. So this is exactly like really strong action. Like some of them only do 1-day pullback, and usually I don't buy on 1-day pullbacks. Like I will miss that signal because I just don't follow that. But usually 1-day pullback are really strong signal. But it can work on both ways. But in this case, it worked out the other way. So that ON, PTC, also another one I'm looking at. That one's doing well too. So yeah, so here you go. This breakout right here. Really nice. Oh, this one, Model N. This is a new name, I believe. I can't remember what exactly they do. But I've heard of this name. Life science and technology industry. But this chart is not bad. It's a little bit more volatile, but here's the pullback, and then here's the bounce. So this is okay, 200,000 shares traded. So that's not a very liquidity stock, not much liquidity. But it's a new name. That's what I'm trying. Look at this trend. It's really nice. Look at that, right? So relative strength is at 97. Like it's been going up since like June bottom. So it's really strong from a relative strength perspective. But it is a volatile stock, no doubt about that. But it could have potential. DGII, this stock I feel like I traded it a couple of times. It seems like it has a lot of volatility too. Yeah, so this is small cap. So all the under 2 billion cap always have volatility. So yeah, but they could be the big winners though if you can hold those stock. So like for short-term trading is probably tougher because it's just gonna stop you out all the time. So CDNS, okay, this is this one shows up. I haven't paid attention. PYC, NAD, DY. DY has shown up a few times. Okay, right now it's not doing so good. So AZPN, this one was a leader, but then it fell apart, right? So it was here, right here. So it broke out. It was one of the leaders, and then now it's kind of on the downtrend. But it bounced back pretty good this last few days. So now it's above 10-day, 50, and 200 days. So it could be done, correcting, right? So any other stock in the tech sector you want to look at?
No, can we go back? Can we look at AMAL? One is that.
What is it called?
AMAL, Amalgamated
Oh,
Bank.
AMAL. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is banks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is bank financial. I don't know. It showed up in the tools to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I.
Yeah. So Friday, it pulled back, and I'm not sure. Like if I look at XLF, I just want to check, right? Financial. Okay, so it didn't go back. So it continued to like so financials are strong right now, right? Thursday, Friday, same thing. Like it's broke above 200-day line, really strong. Like so I'm not sure. Like this was obviously this is not good, right? Like it fell and below Thursday. But you see I draw a line right here, like that would be like if I were to have a stop, like a hard stop, this would be it. So like I think I have a position in this, and so let's say Wednesday was that, Thursday was that, so it broke below Thursday, so I would have trimmed at least half of it. So now I might only have half left. So We'll see. I don't know why it broke down. I don't know if there's any news or not. But this is so you see, this is 200,000 shares traded, right? So I find that stocks that are, definitely smaller is easier to manipulate, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's gonna have more volatility. That's why I said, like, for smaller cap stocks, um, it's much harder to hold, is what I found, right? Like, and but at the same time, like I said, it goes both ways. It's much harder to hold, but at the same time, when it rip, it goes the other way. It goes really fast. So that's why the timing is much harder on small cap stocks, just because they're more volatile. But like, for me, Wednesday low, because that was the last time the market tests a lot of the stocks. So if you were to buy that stock, I would put a stop on Wednesday's low. Um, and in this case, it's right here, right? So like I said, even if you bought Thursday, you down. In my case, I would have sold half, or like it would hit my stop at half level, and then the other half would be at this level. I would set it, right? So. But because it's a small cap, you probably risk losing more than usual, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So yeah, let's jump into financials since we're on financial. Let me just pull up financials. There's some, but I think yeah, like these guys are not bad. I don't remember if I own them anymore. Okay. So yeah, see, same thing, same pattern, right? So Wednesday low, I draw the line. Thursday, right? And then Friday it went below Thursday low, right? So I don't know why it's happening on Friday, despite the XLF actually went up. But here, same thing, you see, same thing. They all did that. It's funny. They all follow the same trend. Is there any stock here? Yeah, Almao is one of them. Yeah, I think Good Life I will stop out too. Globe Life, sorry, Globe Life. Yeah, there you go. See, this is bad action, right? Say. So I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, I'm not too concentrate on financials right now. But if I jump to industrial, because that's for me, that's where I'm concentrated on. And a lot of these are names you don't usually even talk about. But they're strong, like WNC, transportation equipment, right? So Wednesday, here's the low, right? It bounced Thursday, you could have bought it there. And then now it's taking off, right? So Friday it did a reversal, which is fine because it didn't even close, below the previous day. So it's still in the uptrend. Yeah, like this is also smaller cap stock. So it could any smaller cap stock, you always, like I said, it goes both ways. It goes up really fast and it goes down really fast, right? So that's why those ones you have to manage your risk. Like, to me, you have to manage it much more tight. You either right or wrong, right? There's no in the middle, because it goes both ways 10% easily. So you don't want to let it go down 10% when you're wrong. So when you're right, it just goes up that way too, fast, right? So but right now it's on a really strong uptrend. Like I think the last uptrend that was this strong was right here and right here. So but because this stock is smaller price and less liquidity, it's gonna move. Like the gains could be more superior, right, compared to other stocks. So you see 46% in the last almost a month, yeah. AON, heating product manufacturer. This one, I think it was earnings result came out. Yeah, this is again, same thing. Broke out right here, right? Gap up. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, that low of the day, if you bought that breakout day. And so this is interesting, right? This is the kind of things we want to see. So if the market is strong, stocks will break out. And we talk about this a lot, whether you buy on pullbacks or breakout, right? If the market is strong, breaks out will work if you buy on breakouts, right? because you're buying at a new high, right? This is a new high price. You're not buying a pullback on a old price. You're buying a new price. And if you can hold, usually, like I say, the low of that day, especially on the gap up, that's how I like to set my lows. When the stock shoot up, and wherever that low is, that's usually where people like there's such a demand, right? That people willing to pay more than that price. So that's where I set my low, and you can see it never came back now to that test day, right? So this is a good sign, really good sign that this will continue. So this is really strong, and it's funny because this tool charting here, this trend line right here, it's a much bigger base right here. Yeah, right here, right here. So this is a much bigger base. It's not even, big. This is such a big base. Oh my God. So there's this smaller base here, and then this is bigger base. So look at this space. This correction is huge. So that's why they stocks like this small cap. Well, it's not that small, 4 billion, but it's still considered small. 2 to 5 is like small. It has such a big correction now. It's coming back up really fast. Yeah. SandM. Okay, I really like this stock. I think it's a Brazil stock. It's just one of those stocks that just continue to grind. I don't know what the fundamentals, but I know Brazil market is strong. Like their whole market index are really strong. So this is one of the is it Brazil? Sorry, no, this is not a Brazil stock, sorry. This is a chip, kind of like a chip manufacturer related stock. Yeah. But I have it under industrial sector, but it is kind of related to chip. So really strong. Look at that. Right. So this gap up right here. So this is again same thing, right? That's how we know like buying a breakout works. Is that it breaks out a gap up and then it never tests the low. You pull back right here, and then the next day it bounce, right? So again, there's two potential buy point here, right? On this gap up and on this pullback on the next day. You know, obviously this is the big buy point right here on this breakout, and then this pullback right here. Yeah. So PRMD, I think I could stop out this on Wednesday. Yeah, you go. Right here. Stop out. It's going down now. But it was a leader, right? So we'll see. It could come back. Right now it's falling. Okay, LLB. So lithium stocks, right? So this one is on a nice uptrend right now. Broke out right here. Really nice. So this is lithium related. This one. I can't remember. Fabrinet. Yeah, Fabrinet. Also like kind of like see this group, contract manufacturing group. Like this is all the stuff that are tied to chip manufacturing. So that sector is doing. This group is doing really well. And you can see the breakout right here. So this one is another lithium stock. So lithium stocks, we talked about this before. I think like I think there's more potential in buying lithium related stock than like producer stock than the actual EV stocks, just because lithium is short supply, and that will impact the EV car manufacturer, right, in the long term. So at least they can make money from higher lithium price, whereas EV cars manufacturer, they manufacture cars, they keep increasing their price. At some point, consumers not going to buy them, right? So there's more risk to them, to the manufacturer, than the lithium producer. So, but yeah, this one is more volatile, this one, than ALB. ALB is much nicer chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, for FWRD. Oh, this one. Yeah, I have let go too. Let go. Oh. Machinery tools. So almost ready to break out. It's a nice uptrend right now, but it's trying to break out. What's the other one? FWRD. Transportation truck. So that's good, right? Transportation truck is moving because that's you know, the industrial component, right? Like what it's very important for the transport to do well. So if market were to go higher, yeah, there's lots of names. You see how long this list is, right? Pretty strong.
What was your filter criteria here? 50 and 20 going up, and
yeah, like this is all based on the trend lines. Like it has to be above 50, 200, or above 200 or above 50, right? So it's always best if it's above both 50 and 200. Especially in the market like right now, it should be moving up. But we can look at yeah, let's look at commodities because commodities was the strongest on Friday, right? There's no doubt about that. So CHX, top guy right now. To me, this name is not very well known, which is perfect because not many people talk about it. Look at this trend line right here. There you go. Look at that. That's nice. That's a nice breakout right there. Let me draw a hard one here for my own record. But yeah, it's a nice breakout. See this, I draw it here too. And you can see how it riding this 10-day, like, oh my God, this is perfect. See that? Right. So you see there's this 1-2 day pullback right here. Those are the potential, you know, signs, right? So I'm sure if I go to this other two, it will show those triangles. CHX. There you go, right? So here's one, here's the second one, here's the third one. So lots of buy points, right? Even if you miss the original gap up. So you know, because this is the day you would buy, and then you would put your stop right here. That would be your first position ideally. But you know, but let's say you miss it, and then there's all these buy points right now. That's popping up, and it's just moving nicely. So AC. Oh, okay, this one. I got, you know, I think I got stop out. Yeah, I got stop out on Wednesday because I got undercut right here. But then Thursday it bounced back. See that? Like really nice. So Friday, I don't know what happened. It just jumped really fast. And then but it did close again. When you know, sometimes those days can be bad, like a bit reverse. But for me, sometimes I like to sit, like to me, like because it jumps so fast, sometimes I would let it sit because it didn't even close, like, you know, near the high of the previous day, right? Like, it didn't close below it, is what I'm trying to say. So it's still on the uptrend, right? So but it may need more time to slowly move up still, right? So like that. But this is just a nice IPO stock. This stock, they changed their name for some reason. It was like PFHC before, ProFrat, right? But then they changed it to ACDC. Like everyone was like, why did they change their name? It was weird, you know, especially for IPO. But this is a nice, you know, IPO choice. Young stock, you know, lots of potential, I think. I don't know enough about the fundamentals. So it's a good industrial, like oil and gas fuel service stock. Oh yeah, oil and gas fuel service is one of the strongest, right? Like when I look at OIH, oil service. Yeah. Okay, it's almost like XLE, ready to break out. But the stocks in that area, like for example, the bigger guys, if I go back to ACDC, you can see here, right? These are all the related stock. Tidewater. So I think Tidewater is on here, right here, the next one. This is a new name too. Oh, let me see. Is it? Oh, I don't know why it doesn't work. Let me click on it. Okay, it's not a new name, but it's a new name to me because I never heard of it. It's like So it broke out right here. Now it's pulling back. So right here pulling back. So yeah, I got stop out on this for sure. But we'll see. Because it rise really fast to 27% from this breakout point, and now it's consolidating. So this one, just again, same thing. It's just not. Sometimes I like the names that less people talk about. Run is a solar stock. I got into it on Thursday, right? So on this big run, big jump here, set my stop loss right here. Look at Friday. This is exactly what you want to see. Like sometimes you have this 1 day jump, and then even though if the next day doesn't go up, as long as it stay near the top, like a flag, right? It looks like a flag, So it's not giving up a lot of those gains, So that's good. That's good. So, but probably I have to move my stop up eventually because it's too far right now. But at that time I just don't know where to set it. So anyhow, but this is a solo stock. And on Friday, the thing is, all the solo stocks got hit again. I don't understand what's happening, right? See, end phase got hit right there. So here, same thing. Like here's my stop level, and you can see, it didn't undercut Thursday's low, so that's a good sign, right? So I hope it can run again next week, right? So, but this I love this chart. This is a cup with handle pattern, and the handle is like pretty high up, really perfect. Like to me, this is like exactly like a leader stock, right? And of course, we know the fundamentals are one of the most superior, right? 100% growth. Look at that. So this is a nice cup of handle pattern. It's like really tight, right? But I think because a lot of people follow this stock, so it's going to have some volatility. But I hope once it breaks out, see on Friday, it just nicked a little bit and then it fell back down. A lot of people got trapped that day. But you're gonna have patience with this stock because when this stock run, you can see it runs fast. So it's like 4 or 5 days, boom, 20%. So this is just how this stock is traded right now. Just too many people looking at it. The other one that everyone talk about is First Solar. Really strong stock, right? You can see this run right here. Like this is from August to October, the last run, and then it pulled back, and then now it's going again. So right now, this is a pullback opportunity to buy. But for me, the only reason I don't own it is because I don't know. People keep saying their future what you call earnings will grow, but when I look at it here, I can't. It's showing negative unless it has changed. Let me see. Pretty sure it was. Let me just double check this. Because I always check this one because I was like, why people keep buying it, saying that it will change, but then when I look at it, the number it doesn't change. So I'm just checking the estimate quarter. Where'd it go? It's at the bottom. Yeah, see, minus 111. So I don't understand this. Like people keep saying it's supposed to reverse their trend, but yet when I look at this, the next quarter is like negative. I don't understand. So that's why I don't buy this. But it is one of the strongest solar stock. It's the strongest solar stock, more strong than Enphase. So, but I just I just stick with what stronger fundamentals right now. But people are saying this will change, so I don't know. I don't want to predict that. But you can see lots of strong action. So that's a good thing. Okay, so that's the SQM fertilizer stock. I don't have it. Oh, okay, this one W. There's lots of array. I got into array. So another solar, right? Some power is right below it. So this one, it just started moving. So so we'll see. It just started moving. So I just got into it. Yeah. MNRL. Yeah, this one is also good, I think. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, this one like broke out right here. Yeah, see this pull. Look at this pullback. So like you didn't even like, again, same thing, right? So every time it breaks out, if it doesn't come back and test that low of that day, it's a good like usually, like I said, if I did buy on here, I don't think I did. I missed it first time, broke out. But then you buy on the bounce, right? Which is right here. So I bought it there on Thursday. All right. So now, it might go that way. So that's that. CVE, okay. Oh no, not CVE. There was another stock. I was gonna say CVI right down here. Oh, this is a stock that Icon was talking about on Friday, and then it's funny, it jumped after Thursday. I mean, it jumped after hours, but then it kind of closed at the bottom, so I'm not sure. I don't usually like buying stocks when it closed on the bottom, especially if it's like, a strong day. That's the thing about some energy stock. Like a lot of them broke the new, like one of the stocks that I was following. I think I might have bought into it, I can't remember. But OVB, right? See this one, it broke out. See, this one closed at the top. Look at that, right? So that's what I like to see. Yeah. So OVB, let me see where it's on this list. It's a little bit down. So yeah, it's so some of this is just starting to move. So a little bit lagged, but so if we want to, like I say, if we select all these stocks here, right? SMCI. So here we have technology, commodities, technology, industrial, technology, industrial, technology, right? There's quite a bit of technologies now at the top, right? And then technologies here. So technology could be like, I have like now I have more technologies than I ever had before. So like, so that's good. So technologies come a lot. Wing, okay, I don't have this one. I got stop out before, probably around here. I didn't buy it back. So yeah, your last chance would have been here. It actually did make a new high on Thursday. So I missed this one. But this is one of the few, like really few restaurant stocks that are doing well. The other one that I actually got and then just stop out was TXR, Texas Roadhouse. See, I got stop out on Friday. I don't know what happened. And the cut when it stays low. But it is, that's the thing, right? Like some stocks are gonna stop you out. To me, stocks that act like that are probably not your best leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like they might do okay, like they might continue to go up over time, but it's just not gonna be like your, strongest leaders, right? So it's probably better to divert your money somewhere else, is what I'm trying to say. So that's okay. Yeah. Let me see. Is there any other stocks we missed here? I think most of the top ones we talk about. Yeah, IMCR. Oh, this is a health. Very few health stocks. So one of the things that happened on Thursday and Friday was health stocks got at least the giant health stock got hit hard. This one, let me see. This one is a new name to me. IMCR. So on Friday it make a move. Yeah, on Friday. Like this was it wasn't a name to me before, and it made a move on Friday. So it was really interesting. Like this small cap, right? But obviously, with all biotech stocks, more risk. But I just want to show you quickly. Like if I look at some of the bigger healthcare names, see, they're all like almost like people. They were saying people were selling all these because big pharma were the ones doing really well the last, like even this one is not the strongest one, like because it didn't even break out. But okay, so, but let's say Humana, for example, Humana. Yeah, see Humana, you see it broke out, and then it have this nice run, and then really fast. Look at how it broke down really fast. Look at that.
Wow.
Right? So fast, Like this almost like make 20% gain right here. See the green bar is a 20% bar. So it make gain really fast and it dropped really fast. Like this is big cap guys, right? So there's a whole bunch of them, like Merck, for example. Merck, yeah, same thing, right? It broke out really fast. Now it's this one holding, not as bad as the other one just now we just looked at, but it's breaking down now. Like, so I don't know what this means. It could, again, these are all defensive, right? Like, because a lot of big institutions put money towards this. They move money from growth into this area. Now they might be moving money back from this area to growth, right? Take their profit, right? And same thing with energy. They might have taken some might have sold. That's why energy was a little bit more volatile Wednesday and even Thursday. And they might have moved some money from energy to tech, right? Because a lot of people are probably underweight tech right now, because of what happened this year, right? So now they're moving money back into tech. So that's kind of a good sign, at least for the short term. There's probably other one like Gillette. Yeah, so this one, you see, broke out. Pretty nice. Oh, this one is holding a lot stronger. Look at that. It's even bounced back on Friday. Look at that. Right. What was the other one that I was talking about? Oh, Lily. Yeah, Lily. I think Lily got hit too. No, maybe not. Oh, here you go. Yeah, Lily got hit. A lot of big guys got hit. So this one closed near the bottom. But yeah. Vortex, yes, Vortex is another big one. So this one, let's see. Yeah, this one also, okay, this one actually closed at the top. Interesting. So it did come back down, test 50-day. This stock is really choppy though. That's the only problem with this one. But anyhow, this is big pharma stuff. But I think the big pharma stuff might be less. I think one of the ones I own is this one, CH. Yeah, Cardinal Health. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, look at this drop. Holy cow. It broke out and then it's dropping really fast now. So a lot of people are taking profit. That's what happened. Even though it's not a lot, but it's just more like, I say people are in defensive stock because they have nothing else to buy. So then they move into money in there. Now they're moving back into tech. So I don't know if this trend continues. Like I see tech's doing really well, right? Yeah. There's one, oh, this name, Hello. This is another health biotech that I got into. Yeah, look at this. Look at this nice breakout. Wednesday breakout because of the earnings, right? So it didn't go down Wednesday like every other stock did, but because they had nice earnings, and then Thursday, Friday continue, and then it hasn't even looked back so far, right? So I don't know, 7 billion cap. Oh, this is a long-term trend line too. Look at that. So yeah, this could have a big move. Usually when stocks break out from long-term trend line, it could be a big move. Just because so much it's been under. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about something else too. So this is a nice breakout. Yeah. So I took a position on this. The other one is the one that I don't have any position, but everyone's talking about right now is gold, right? Gold fuel maybe. Yeah. So this one bounce. Look at this bounce. Holy cow. Like I don't have any precious metals right now. But that's because they have been down for so long, But this move is real. Like, it's breaking out of trend lines everywhere. I see. This is a big trend line. This is really strong. Yeah, really strong. Like even if you look at the big cap, GLD, see long-term trend line broken right here. See that? Right. So I don't know why. I don't know why gold is moving. I know why. It's because the US dollar is dropping. So if we go UPP, look at what's it called? UUP, sorry, dollar index. Right. So what happened is dollar index. Oh yeah, I want to talk about this because Thursday and Friday, even though Wednesday I got stopped out a lot, but Thursday morning I bought back in, and a lot of my stocks were moving. The problem was Thursday and Friday, most of them were moving. The problem was my holdings were in US dollar, right? And so I didn't hedge against my US dollar. So what happened was the dollar dropped so much from Wednesday to Friday. Look, so Wednesday, you see, like this is not dollar equivalent, but just you can see, right? It dropped a lot. Like Thursday it dropped 2%, Friday 1.4%. That's almost 4%. right? So I lost 4% in currency in the last 2 days, which pissed me off because that's my gains. 4% of my gains were gone, even though my stocks were up, right? So I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to be this fast. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm a little bit worried now because you can see it probably go to this line right here, the 200-day line, which is another 2-3%. Oh man. Oh well, what can you do? I should have hedged on my dollar currency. I didn't do it. I probably can still, but it's kind of I feel like a little bit late now because it already moved so much. So yeah. So I don't know if you have the same problem, but I had that problem. I was like, why is my portfolio not moving as much as I thought it would, right? And my balance, and then I realized, this is why it's happening. Yeah. I hate when that happened. So I should have hedged against it. I didn't.
But we can't do anything about that, right? Like because we convert our Canadians to US, and that's where we buy our stock.
Yeah. So the only way you could do it is unless you have a margin account, which I do, and you can convert, whatever cash you have. Like you can make it like a trade, right? You can buy it like a trade. You can trade like whatever currency you have to like from Canadian to US. It's like a trade. It's a currency trade. So you can hedge that way, right? But I didn't do it. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Anyhow, that was probably the saddest part for me in the last 2 days. It's I didn't make as much of a gain as I should. Yeah, I just have some quick notes here. Like I sent you the video on Professor Siegel, right? And he talked about, and he was the one who was really vocal about all this, that inflation is already peak, but the Fed is using old data, right? Like lagging data. But he said if you plug in the latest real estate data, like rental price and home prices, it's actually negative. And and he said that that's like almost 40% of the CPI. So that's huge, right? So he's saying, it's going to drop like a rock. He said, as time goes forward. So he's very confident that the Fed has already done, and he's the guy who's like really at the beginning. He was the guy who's also very vocal on the Fed should raise interest rates. And month after month, the Fed didn't do it, and he was like, again, same thing. He was really heated. And then same thing now when he thinks inflation is already peak, he's saying why the Fed still raising rates. So he's dead on. This guy's dead on. Like I'm not even joking. He's so dead on the numbers. So that's something to because if he's right, which means the Fed is wrong, which means they have over hike, which means inflation will come down super fast, and which could be good news for stock market as long as we don't go into deep recession, right? Like if the Fed continue to be stupid next month and say, hey, we're gonna raise 50 points and continue to raise after that, then be hawkish again, and then market could have another big down day. But I will buy on that dip. I'm telling you right now because I think the Fed is wrong, right? Based on what this guy is saying, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So but the question is whether the Fed will put the whole economy into jeopardy because they have raised too much, and that consumer spending will crash. And I think it will. Like I don't know to what degree, but like I said, we're already seeing it in many things. So it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of how bad it's gonna be. And then now we're starting to see unemployment, right? Like every company is laying off. All the big techs are laying off. So we're gonna see unemployment go down too. So yeah. So the other thing I note here is crypto didn't have much of an effect on. It had an effect on Wednesday really bad. But then Thursday, Friday, ignore it, right? So even FTS announced bankruptcy filing on Friday, it didn't even affect the market at all, right? So that's really good. Really good.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So the last thing on my note here that I think is important, okay, is positioning now, right? Positioning and when I say positioning, not just like getting a position in, but positioning in who's going to be the big winner in this big rally. Like I'm going to assume this rally is going to last till end of this year. Okay, for now. Some people think it will end like mid-December. Some people think it will end early next year. I don't know. But for me, I'm going to price in the expectation right now that I'm trying to hold till end of this year at least, right? And so you want to position in the leading stocks and hold as much of those positions as possible, and then the next thing would be to add on those winners, right, that continue to go up. That's the key right now, right? So um does that make sense?
Definitely. So we'll be keep on adding on winning trades. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So that's why now I'm very focused on the top 20, 30 stocks here every week. Okay. Look at the price performance, see which one, if there's new ones, then it's up to you whether you have more money to add to those ones. If not, just focus on the existing ones every week and just narrow down. I have like 40, 50, 40 stock. I think I have 40 stocks right now. I'm going to start narrowing down every week, right? Hopefully that's my goal, and adding on to the ones that are strong. Okay, so it's kind of like what they call pyramiding. And so if I look at I call this bull list, but whatever. Uh, but I have my list here, and so and also the other thing you want to look at is like more like again a longer term thinking, right? Because the only way you can make big money is you want to hold as long as you can. So let's say the next, I don't know, 6 weeks to the end of the year, right? So like for example, this stock, I draw a line here just to say this is where my like near my stop losses, right? So as long as it hold above that and it continues to go up, my expectation is this guy will break out and make some IBD style investor generally, if you find a growth stock, it usually breaks out and make at least 20%, right? So that's the kind of goal I have right now, right? In the next few weeks is that I don't know if it's going to move that fast, but that's what I'm saying. The ones that are going to move fast, I'm going to move money over there, right? To those ones that are moving fast. So this guy is near breakout. So I'm expecting it to break out and I'm expecting it to move, at a fast pace, So week to week, right? And also, depends on the volatility too, whether, how it trade, right? But that's kind of my expectation. So I'm looking at this, 40 stocks right now. This one is in the base, near breakout. Most of them should be either broke out already or near the top of the base, right? So this one's in the top. This one, see, this one is already broken out, right? ACDC. I never talked about this one. AEIS. This is another equipment stock, chip equipment stock. It's near the breakouts. Yeah. Like if you look at the daily chart, it's pretty strong stock actually. I just got into this on Thursday, and Wednesday, you see right here it gap out on Thursday, and then Friday, like most of them make a big move on Thursday and a smaller move on Friday. This was the opposite. It makes us like, I mean, it was still big on Thursday, a gap out, but Friday it make a even bigger move, right? That's interesting. Yeah, this is a smaller stock too. So okay, anyhow, uh, Albemarle, we already talked about this lithium, so broke out. Right. So now once it break out, like I say, I'm expecting around 20% in the next 4 to 6 weeks. AML, we already talked about this. So array, yeah, we also talked about this. So this is near breakout. AZPN is starting to bounce. So we'll see. BDC, we talked about this. This is moving up nicely. Celsius. So the only reason I bought into this is because everyone say how good of a fundamental stock this is, right? And it is. It's a very strong fundamental, except for last quarter. But everyone thinks it's still going to do well. And so it built this long base, and now it's trying to break above this 50-day, right? So I think my stop loss is probably around here. I think. Um, I bought back into this on Thursday. We'll see. It's not my top stock though. I just bought into it because I feel like it could be, it's like M phase, right? It's like
Yeah.
these stocks have so many people follow it that it's just having a hard time breaking out. But I think once they break out, they will break out strong. Like that's the thing. Once all this overhead people want to like trade in and trade out, once those people are gone, once it really break out, it's gonna go. Like that's what I'm watching for. And now that because I feel like we're gonna be in a strong rally going to the end of the year, I feel like and this is a good entry point, like near the bottom of the space. I feel like it's a good entry point. But it's not the strongest stock technically. CHX, we talked about this. Oh, commercial metals, right? This one is also interesting. Broke out industrial. Um, okay, Friday a big reversal though. So I don't know why. I don't know why. That's a not good sign. DGII, talk about this. DXCM. Oh, this is a medical product stock. Friday it reversed as well. So there's some stocks that reverse on Friday. So when that happened, I knew those stocks are not going to be the leaders. Like not as strong of a leader, right? Because they should follow the market. This is a new name, oil gas and NISPA. Yeah, trade really
Base.
nice. Yeah, big base, huge base. Yeah, so if this breaks out, oh, I think it did right here. So that's a good, like from a low entry point. That's good. Yeah, right here. I think this is the. So I think yeah, when this low would be a good stop point, and if this breaks out, it's gonna take off. I think. End phase we talk about FN, we talk about GFS, we talk about. Like I say I still believe in GFS, especially if the chip sector gonna take back. It can once they break out right here, it's very close. Really. Once they break out, I expect it to move really fast to the 20% level. Halo, we talk about IMCR, we talk about LECO, we talk about LAN. Okay, so LAN, home builder stock, right? And I like this long-term trend right here. See, despite houses are no one buying and stuff like that, like oh their price is going down, blah blah blah. But they already price in a lot of those news, right? So the fact that it broke out on this week is really interesting, right? See, Thursday broke out really strong volume. So again, you see the flag pattern really tight at the top, gives back. That's the kind of thing you want to see, right? Those are really strong technical indicator. When it goes up a lot and give back little the next day, like really strong pattern. LSCC, we talk about this, lithium. Oh, this one, microchip, another chip stock. Look at this breakout on the low entry point. 200-day, very strong. Look at that. So, like I said, these are the to me these are the leaders in the chip sector. Because obviously we can look at Nvidia, but it moves well too. Look at this gain really fast. Oh wow, look at it, it's close to 200-day already. So it is moving fast. Like we all know Nvidia is like the number one chip guy. So, but I mean, yeah, it's not bad actually. So, oh, this the MEDP Met space. Yeah, same thing. Look at this. It's still not breakout yet, but look at how tight. So it gap up right here. Right here is the stop loss. Right here. It barely. I think I got stop out, but I bought back in because it just nicked it a little bit, just a little bit, and then yeah, it's just a little bit. So I think I bought it back on Thursday. I think yeah, but I think this stock has potential if it breaks out. So we're close to breakout right here. Very close. We talk about MNIL, modern. We talk about NDSN. This one again, another industrial stock. It's ready to break out. So it's having nice action, but it's close to breakout. We talk about okay, another oil stock, PSX. So this one broke out on Friday, right here. So yeah, broke out on Friday. So it might move. This is a bigger cap stock. ETC, computer software design. So I love all the stocks that break out. See, once they break out, they move fast, right? And that's how you know the market is working. And that's exactly what we want to see. The market broke out, and then now it's just moving up now. So it's really nice. Numbers we talk about RPM. There's this one, chemical paint. Kind of broke out on Friday. So yeah. Okay, so it did reverse a little bit. So that's not like sometimes they'll reverse, and the key is Monday. So in Monday we want to see it bounce back right away. That's the key. Run. We talk about this. SANM, SLVM. This is a name that I don't. It's containers is very boring, but I like how this bounce right here. 1-2 day bounce. I don't know. Oh yeah, earnings. It dropped on earnings. That's why. But the bounce to me is like really strong. Look at this bounce. 2 days of huge gains from the bottom. Volume is super high. It's boring stock, but it's one of those stock that you never know, it could really take off. I don't know. It has a nice uptrend right here. So talk about super microcomputer, SPXC. This is another industrial stock. So broke out. Yeah, there you go. It's really nice, moving up. Bancorp. Yeah, Bancorp reversed on Friday too, a little bit. But I like how it's trading tight, so it's not very loose. So that's a good sign. And it's already near, like depending where you buy from this base, it's already near 13% gain. So URI, another, commercial leasing broke out right here. I like how all these stocks coincide with the breakouts on Thursday. Like it's funny how all of them broke out on Thursday. Weatherford. This is oil gas machinery equipment. This one is definitely harder to hold, I feel, but it has a nice uptrend. You can see. You see, I draw this line because this is where it pulled back to, right? Pull back, pull back, pull back, and then pull back, pull back. Like this one is much tighter, but still, but this run is like nice and smooth, as long as you understand where it pulls back to. Like, it does pull back quite often. Okay, we're talking about WNC, yeah. So I think that's the last stock on my list right now. So I have, out of this list, there's lots of names that I still don't own. But you can catch all of them. So the key is now to, like I say, positioning into the strongest ones, and and then ride this rally until it's over, right? That's kind of the goal. And yeah, any question on that?
No, yeah, I think I'm good. I also have a lot to go through. All of this, I'll go through one more time.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks good.
So on Friday, I just select all the solid triangle one. This is how many stocks move on Friday. Like it's quite a bit,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is almost all of them are energy, right? Like I know this energy, like you can see commodity. Look at this, commodities, like on Friday. That's what have moved. All make new highs. That's what the solid triangle mean, right? Like new highs is in like, in the last day or two, they all make new highs. So commodities is strong right now. Like the momentum could continue, right? For commodity stock. So unfortunately, like I said, I sold a lot of my commodity stocks on Wednesday. So but now my portfolio is a little bit more balanced, like based on what you just saw, those 40 stocks there. I don't know like what's gonna happen, but we'll see. If this 40 stocks will make, which one will make the leadership role. Yeah, but yeah, if you come across any that you feel strongly about, yeah, we'll talk about it next week again.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much are near the end of the earnings season, so that's the good thing, right? Because now all these stocks that you're buying, you don't have to worry about like volatility, right? So that's the good thing. So most stocks, I have 500 stocks that I monitor the fundamentals on, and you see the flag ones are pretty much all the ones that have report. So there's still some, like Clearfield hasn't reported yet, but most of them have reported, like majority, 80-90% of them have reported. So it's more stable now, and people, like, that's what I'm saying, like investors are gonna feel more easy to invest now that we know, okay, so now we know inflation is peaking, now we know earnings are not bad, now we know unemployment is probably going to come down. That means unemployment is going to go up a little bit. Everything is like perfect storm right now, and then finally we talk about the election. Yeah, we'll finish with this election. Most likely, like I think already projected. Well, it hasn't projected yet, but where did it go? Oh, I think I closed it. Anyhow, it's very tight. If we look at this number here, I think it's like, yeah, 49, but it's most likely there's a high chance that Democrat will take majority in the Senate, but then the House will most likely be Republicans. So it's a split Congress. So it's not that bad. It's actually, like I said, it's good for the market when you have split Congress. So so the market is exactly doing that right now. So yeah.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I think Jim Ropel also talked about that. I think he showed something, right? Average, when it's a split Congress, average
Oh yeah.
average
Yeah.
15% gain.
Yeah. Let me show you a chart. Let me see if we can. I don't know if I showed it to you before. Let me see. Let me just quickly find. Yeah, this chart right here. So it's on Twitter many times, but I just want to show you again because I think this is very important. So we are around. You see, this is based on, so second presidential year, that's 2022. Third year is 2023. So this is the average of how the index look like over like see 1900 to 2021. And so you can see like this move right now, like exactly what we're seeing with the index, right? Going up and then moving, sideways, like November, December, like maybe not as much gain by December. But October, November pretty strong. And then comes January, like late December. See, this is the Santa rally you asked me about. When is the Santa rally? It's probably going to happen like the last week of December, and then going into the first week of January or second week. And then look at this, another big run. Like optimism will come in the new year, and then look at this run in January to February, and then another one. Wow, look at this. This is based on the cycle, right? So this is the trend we're looking at from here to here. It's a huge gain, which is roughly depending, right? Some people say it's till April or March. Some people say it's till June. So it doesn't matter. Like I said, the next few months could be a huge rally. Now, by that, so with that being said, if I come back to the index, the Dow Jones is gonna probably, like, I don't know, it's moving so fast, right? Like we're 34,000 near, and this is 36.9, so 3,700, right? 3,700 right here. So 37,000, sorry. So 34 to 37,000 is 3,000 points, which is roughly 9%. So roughly another 9 to 10% for Dow to hit new high. It can happen very fast. Like this is faster than most people expected. Now Nasdaq on the other hand, or S&P, it's not bad either. 4,800, like Tom Lee said, it might go to 4,400 by year end, and then it might go more to 4,800 next year, right? So there's lots of potential here to do well, like really well. And then Nasdaq is the furthest down, so I don't remember the high here, but 16,000. So it's the farthest away, right? But this thing could rip, like I said, it could catch up and it'll rip. Like I don't know, we'll see. Like it really depends on how the inflation story play out. If inflation comes down fast, this will rip, right? If inflation comes down slower than people think, then it might not rip as hard. Or as long as it comes down, that's the key, right? Then it'll still be going up, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Like some, obviously there's still lots of bears out there. I think we still have to be careful. like I say, the next point to look at, I would follow is, it's one day at a time. We're gonna look at S&P near this 200-day and near this long-term trend line 4100. So roughly between 4050 and 4100. I think how S&P act there will be very important. Like that's what I hope it will do, but we'll see. If it bounce there and then come back down, then that's not good, right? Because that's what happened the last two times. So that's I think the next week or so should be still okay. I don't know. We'll see. But it's already a two. Like if you look at a weekly basis, it's one big gain right here, big gain, 5.9%. But understand that every time market bottom, they always have big days, like 12% week, 10% week. But but it doesn't mean it will go straight out. It just means like like here, there's consolidation for 3 weeks, and then it goes up more, right? So I'm not saying like the key is like it's just trading tight. That's the key. And that's what I would expect. And then it goes higher. That's what my expectation right now. Yeah. So watch this one. And then like I said, tech. I know you like tech more. So it has lots more room still.
Yeah.
The risk reward is pretty good because it's just still like much more to gain. And we're seeing that now, right? That's why I found that it was really interesting. If I go to like, we're seeing that on the market now that Dow is, it used to lead the market, but now it's the opposite, right? Nasdaq is leading now. So you see the gain 1.8 versus 0.1. You see that? And then S&P is in the middle. So it's like reverse. It's like the balance is reversed. So now Nasdaq is playing catch up and Dow might be going up less. So now that's the key. Now I have some chip stocks on my list now, so hopefully it'll balance out. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good overall. Pretty good. Like I think every sector is doing well. It's not like it's just a matter of like I think there's gonna be days like that, right? Days where Dow will lead and Nasdaq will lead. Obviously Nasdaq lead the last 2 days, but I think it will be depend on the mood of like on each day, I think. But at the end of the day, if this is a rally and everything will go up over time, right? So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is awesome, man. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that is it. Yeah.
Oh, the only thing we really didn't talk about was crypto, right? And obviously, Jim Ropel, he actually apologized to his members that he was too bullish, and obviously, no one knows the market. Like no one know FTX was going down. Who would know?
Yeah.
FTX, it has so many big investors, right? Like okay, someone's gonna go to jail over this, but the point is, like no one would have figured out that this was gonna happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Big VC firms, even Ontario Ontario Teachers Pension.
yeah,
Yeah, big guys.
yeah. SoftBank is one of them. Huge. I think BlackRock for sure. Like all the biggest companies were investors of this company, and so it made the whole crypto market lost confidence, and now everyone really bearish on Twitter. Like I was like, everyone's like, hey, which one is the next one to drop, kind of thing. And so I don't know if we'll see, right? And even the Binance CEO came out and said on Friday night, there'll probably be more chaos. So which is not good. Like it really undermine the confidence in the crypto market, right? But with that being said, like what can you do? It's just one of those things. Like that's why with the crypto, I don't trade as much. I'm more like kind of like average in type of investor, like for long term. So every month just put in a few dollars here and there, and hopefully long term, 5 to 10 years, it'll go up a lot, kind of thing. So like Dogecoin came back down a lot, right? So that was the one I was buying the last few weeks. Unfortunately, it came back down a lot. Like 7 days, you can see it went from 13 cents to back to as low as 7 cents. But but the thing that I was like I say I was most surprised actually was Bitcoin, well, more Ethereum actually. Like I couldn't believe Ethereum went back down so much. You know, but you know, because it's just such a big guy, big known name, right? Like, Bitcoin went down less, and that's the thing. Like, you just kind of like look at Bitcoin like the Dow, right? And we look at like Ethereum like Nasdaq. You know what I'm saying? And so when these guys correct, they're gonna correct more. So yeah, see 1600 to like as low as 1100.
Wow.
Yeah, like like roughly, I don't know, 33%, 30% correction in just a few days. That's a huge. But now it has stabilized, so which is good because now you know the price market is priced in FTX going bankrupt. Now question is, are there going to be more, right? I don't know. There might be some smaller ones. The question is because FTX is the second biggest exchange, right? I think so. Beside Binance, so the funny thing is, I never considered buying Binance coin, but I might consider buying Binance coin now because they're now the largest. Like there's not even a second competitor to them now, right?
Yeah.
Initially, you see, it was funny. Initially, I think let me see, 7 days. Yeah, initially it jumped on that news, the FTS going bankrupt right here, but it did go down eventually. But it's a sign that investors will have, well, as long as Binance doesn't go bankrupt too, right? But then as long as they're not over leveraged, that's the key, right? And that's what FTX did. They went and took the consumer money asset and go gamble on something else. So yeah. So you know it's slowly stabilizing right now. So that's the good sign. We'll see. I think it will take some time for it to base. It's building a base right now. That's what's happening. It's building a base, and it's going to take some time. But if no news come out, I say in the next month, I think it's possible that this was the final hunch to shake out all the investors. Like I go on Twitter and I honestly so many people is like, oh yeah, Kramer, I think. It's like telling everyone sell your crypto. So I don't know. And then people obviously say, oh, just do the opposite.
Yeah. There is a actually reverse Kramer index. So,
Yeah.
but see, with the crypto, you have to be really careful because this was totally fraud. It's not like anything wrong with crypto.
Hmm.
Few bunch of guys, they didn't do what they are supposed to do. Everyone trusted them, and the crypto is about no trust, right? So that's why if you buy crypto, you should put it in like a wallet, right? So now
Yeah.
you buy it in exchange, that's fine,
Yeah.
but immediately after you buy, you put it in your wallet. Like I
Yeah.
usually put it in MetaMask.
Yeah.
So
MetaMask. Yeah.
now, so MetaMask is like it's just a wallet. It doesn't go down. So it's
Yeah.
really decentralized wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you keep everything, all your money and assets on exchange like FTX, Binance, or beat anything, then
Yeah.
there is a risk.
Yeah.
But
So
this could be a good thing for coin.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, like I said, you have one less competitor, right?
Yeah.
So all the customers at FTX, they're gonna have to find a new place to trade.
Mm.
So, where they're gonna go, right? So Coinbase is one of them, Binance is one of them. I don't know if people will go to Robinhood after that fiasco that happened this year. Lots of people lost trust in
Thank
Robinhood
God.
too.
Look at this stock. Yeah, I don't trust Robinhood too, but wow, look at
Yeah.
this.
I use Coinbase. I love Coinbase actually. I don't know why. I just find it easy to use. Like it's not but I mean everyone is different, right? Some people like more granularity in trading. For me, I just like usually just you know I like Coinbase because it's simple to use, but um yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. But this definitely benefit, right? Binance and Coinbase for sure. Um
Mhm.
Probably more so on Binance. That's why I feel like Binance has a huge potential now to become the giant, right? Um, you know, how much did it drop here? Let me see. 360. Oh yeah, it was 360, 273. Yeah, it's not, it's okay. Yeah. Um, So we'll see. I don't know. I don't like. Yeah. Now a lot of analysts are saying now this is really good for the crypto industry because there're going to be more regulations going forward. And so again, this comes back to like compliance and all that stuff, and also like from an investor point of view, like I mean venture capitalist kind of guy, they probably want to see more not just regulation compliance, but also like a better business model, right? Like how do you actually survive long term and all that stuff, you know because it's not just about like you said, like yeah, for sure fraud is a big problem, but also even like if you don't handle operations well, you could go bankrupt too, right? So yeah, that's why like Coinbase, a lot of people still like Coinbase because they feel like they manage the company well, right, in times of like this, whereas Robinhood didn't manage well, right? And that's the problem with them. And so that's the difference. But I don't know. I don't like Jim Ropel doesn't like investing in stocks for crypto. He said it's better off to invest in a coin directly, just because you won't get the same gains, right? If the coin go up 30%, the stocks is unlikely to go up 30%, right? So it's just for that reason, like and he's like a buy and hold guy too, right? So he really believes 20 years from now, this is the next the biggest revolution kind of stuff. So um we'll see, and who knows, right? Like that's why Dogecoin to me is like, I know it's a hype thing, but if Musk is really serious about you know doing crypto in the new world, like he could be the one who could make it happen. Because that's the sad thing, right? Like we talk about crypto for the last 10, 12 years, but no one has make it mainstream. You know what I mean? It's just for trading, right? But we need to make it into like business, so you can use crypto to buy stuff and trade stuff or whatever. It hasn't happened yet. So, if until the day I can buy my meal with crypto, that's when crypto has gone a long way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So um it could happen. I don't know. We'll see. It might not happen right away, but it's probably like I say the next 10 to 15, 20 years kind of thing that could happen. It definitely can happen. Like why can't it happen, right? It's like, like some country use it now, right? All like Bitcoin for transaction. But when even not at the big level, right? Like even at smaller item level, like I say, buy a meal, buy this, buy that, little things. Uh yeah. So it could be big. But it's gonna take time. This is equivalent of the Nasdaq crash for this crypto stuff. This is probably the biggest crash, since the beginning. At least in terms of money wise, 3 trillion down to less than, I don't know now. It's probably even less than 1 trillion now. The whole market. So remember, I know that they usually put that amount somewhere. Oh, right here. See, 849 now. It's less than 1 trillion now. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't invest much. They say roughly you should invest anywhere from 1 to 5% as much of your portfolio in crypto over time. But you know, yeah, mine is way less than that. Mine's even less than 1%. So, you know, yeah, it's just gonna take time. That's all. But it could be the future. I'm more excited about like, I think once Web3 takes over, like, people actually build business on Web3 platform, then that's when, crypto will take off, I believe, right? But I don't know how that's going to happen. That's the only thing. I don't understand how that transition will happen. Even though the technology is there, but our business going to go on that Web3 type of, decentralized world, right? That's the thing I don't understand. Until that happen, it's not likely that people will use coins for transactions. But like I said, Twitter has such a like Musk has such an influence. He could like no different than Tesla, right? When he's like, oh, we'll accept Bitcoin for cars, right?
Yeah.
So he's the guy who makes that happen, and it's not a small transaction; it's a large transaction. So why can't he do it on Twitter for smaller transaction? It should be easy, like is what I'm trying to say. So So the question is, how is he gonna do it? Like, what's the best business model to do it? That's probably the next thing, you know. Maybe he's gonna use Bitcoin again because Bitcoin is the most stable coin, and you know, more kind of. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. That's what he used before. So, and then he always joke around using Dogecoin, but he never actually did anything about it. So, so yeah. All right, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of yeah, good stuff, man. We'll see. Yeah, I'm glad you it sounds like you're quite into the market right now, like in terms of, you know, buying. Like, yeah, you make a good trade on the semiconductors. That's really good
Yeah.
trade. I was like thinking about it, but I was just like, oh, it's not my thing. You know, it's no different than ARK. Like I could have bought ARK,
Yes.
but I just didn't. Because it's just not my thing right now. That's not the stuff I focus on. But it is a nice breakout right now. So it probably have more room to run, hopefully. And that kind of coincide with the growth perspective, right? So, but the one thing that, you know, a lot of, you know, IBD style investors talking about is like, you know, there's still some skepticism that this rally is a bear market rally, and because of, you know, the leadership quality, right? So the fact that Thursday and Friday stocks like Enphase didn't participate is kind of not good, right? So like it didn't, I mean, Friday went down because of I don't even know what the news is. I forgot if there's any news, but it didn't participate on Friday. You know, even Celsius, same thing. Like it's not bullish. It reversed on Thursday, and then you know, shortwave, right? These are the, you know, look at shortwave. I got stopped out right here, right? So it just couldn't power move through it. Like it's just really sad. These are the top fundamental stocks. When you look at fundamentals, these are the fundamental, like triple digit growth. These are the guys that should move, but it's not. And that's worrying me. That really worries me because, you know, bull market does not start with low quality stocks. They always start with high quality stocks. And these are the high quality stocks and they're not moving. I don't know if it's because they just need more time, but you know, for now, you know, we'll ride this rally, but know that this might not be the bull market we hope for. Yeah, that's the only thing I will say to this. Um, this is the only weird stuff that's happening behind the scene, that these guys are not moving. They should be moving because they have strong fundamentals. But there's some, like I said, there's many other stocks that are moving, so that's the good thing. Like if this list, you know, this list that you know, every week I look at this list is growing, you know, is growing, right? So that's the good thing. So, you know, I don't know, is it because those 3-4 stocks that too many people watch them or what? But you know, but it's just weird that you know, that it doesn't happen for them. It's not usual. Let's put it that way. They should always move. So now we have 160 stocks. It went from 40 stocks in 4 weeks ago, roughly 4 or 5 weeks ago, to now 160. Every week it has increased, and this is the biggest. And I only have, you know, on this list, I only have 200 something stocks. So many stocks have already now gone up. There are 270 stocks. So many stocks have gone up on the long-term uptrend, right? So that signal is telling you that, you know, for example, I don't even own this stock. I don't even focus on this stock, but like let's look at this one, like Paycom, right? So we can see now, see the 200-day now, right? It's starting to flatten. That's a good sign. The next thing is, you know, you want to see it go up. 50-day is coming down, but you know, it's still the price still above it. But the key is the 200-day line. So that's the key, right? Because that's where institution support, long-term support is. So let's find one more. STNG. Okay, so this is oil transport pipeline stock. This one is pulling back right now, but it is a long uptrend. Look at this uptrend, right? It's just really, really strong, right? So these are all in uptrend mode right now. But my point is stocks are moving on the long-term cycle, like long-term 200 days moving up. that it's growing. The list is growing. So, eventually, because remember this list that I'm monitoring is the 270 stocks that have strong fundamentals. So they all should have 200 line going upward. People should be buying this. Institutions should be buying this, and that's what's happening right now. It's growing. So institution, when they invest, they're not investing for like short term, right? They're investing for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So at least for a year. So they're gonna buy the stocks that have strong fundamentals. And of course, some of these are not. So GTLS, this one got hurt bad, right? Put bad earnings and then boom. So this is why even though a stock breakout, you're gonna have a stop loss. Very important. Like, of course, you might not even be able to sell at your stop price, but at least if you put it in market, you can sell it near the top of this range.
Yes.
But when it breaks so hard. Look at this. Once in a while this will happen. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it really hurts because it might be down 20-30%. But yeah, some of these stocks I haven't followed in a while now because they're near the bottom of the list. But and so most of the time, you see the 50 days going down. The 200 days still going up on this one, Lantis. This is a medical stock. But the price, see, look at the price. It's below 200 day, right? That's really bad, right? So all the ones at the bottom here don't have those arrows pointing up, right? So AZPN is the last one here. The lowest, the worst performance, but with the uptrend still. So you can see the uptrend is still going, right? So so like I say, I brought this back. It might bounce back. Let's see. It was a strong stock, it make 20% gain off this breakout. So we'll see if it does that again. But right now, like coming back to this last point here, is that I want to be more patient now. In less of like trying to catch every stock, more of like trying to focus on which stocks. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, I have around 42 stocks now. I'm gonna hopefully slowly narrow down, right? That the goal is to like slowly go down to, like, let's say every week you're gonna go down by 6 stocks, kind of thing. Like kind of slowly move money towards the best stocks, and then hopefully by the end of this year, I should have roughly like slowly dwindle down to the top 6 stocks. At the end, I should have the top 6 stocks left in my portfolio. And that's how you concentrate your positions so that you can hopefully ride the biggest gains with your strongest positions. That's the goal. Yeah.
One last thing. How do I see those 42 from the tool? So
no, you can't. This 42 is just the stocks I own right now. But honestly, it can change very quickly. So like even if I share them, it might not be worthwhile. But it's more important that you look at this list. Like I said, focus on the top 20, 30 stocks every day based on performance. And like to me, that's more important right now because that's what's going to happen is that stocks going to move up and down, but the ones that are going to be strong going to remain in the top. And every day you just ask yourself, like, is there a potential buy point to get in or to add to your position, right? Those two things, right? That's what we want to focus now. We're not trying to catch a wide net. At the beginning, for example, let's say you didn't buy anything until Thursday, and Thursday was the first day everything started to move up. And now on Thursday, you would have try to buy whatever stocks you want to buy. And then Friday you might have bought more, but going forward, you should start to narrow down on the ones that you think is the best, right? And everyone has different preference, so I'm not, I don't like, for example, I'm more diversified than most people, so like for example, if I just nail down on my list here, because I can do it easier here, if I just go filter by color on this color, and I can select 2 colors, but I'll just select the yellow ones. Most of my stocks are in yellow. So here you go. So like here you can see, right? Like I don't know how many I have is in each sector, right? But again, everyone is different. But I can I can see one financial here. Not many financials. But that's the thing. I don't know which sector is going to lead. Like that's the key right now, right? We're in a rally. Which group is going to lead? We don't know. Like it could be technology. It could be industrial. It could be all of them. But who's going to perform the best is the question, right? I don't know. And right now, if we look at the top 10, we have 2 technology, 3 technology, we have 3 commodities, we have 3 industrial. So those 3 techs, right? So you can see 3, like I'm just looking at the top 10. That's what I see. And then we have 2 health in the top 10, right? So it's quite spread out, the top 10 right now. You see that? So that's but that's just the sector level. Then you have to kind of look at the the individual group, if you wanted to go down that far. So but it looks like that's the thing, right? The bull market is good because, or rally is good because everything should be going up. So everyone, like I said, everyone can make money in bull market. Let's put it that way. It's just a matter of which one gonna make the most. Like which one is gonna be the leader? Which one is gonna give you 25 to 100% even, right? These are this is, like I say, October 13. This is 1 month performance, and these are pretty good performance. Obviously, we can't catch them all at the right time, but the question is, if this guy, for example, like I really like CHX, if it runs 100%, like can I catch the other 50%, right? So that's the key. That's what I'm trying to focus on now, is watch them daily and see how they move, right? So my focus is not so much on more stocks. My focus is now on these stocks, which one are going to move the best, and the ones that are barely pull back and bounce, those are the strong ones, like no doubt about that. Those are the 1 day pull back and bounce, those are the strong ones. There's no doubt about it. You see that, right? So that's why I really like this stock. Same as SMCI, right? Like there's a reason why these guys are at the top. It's because they just don't give people a chance to, well, this one does. This one give you a chance to buy here. That's where I bought. And then here I bought 2 positions now. Like I might buy more if this continue to work out. So that's how, moving positions from, depends on how much cash you deploy to, right? But if you are 100% already deployed, then you have to start narrowing down to the best stocks, right? Yeah. So, but AEHR is a really good stock too. It's a chip stock, and see this one, like I say, 1 day bounce, 1 day pullback, bounce, like that's, and then this is a bigger pullback right here. So so this is what happened most of the time. 50% of the time, it breaks out, comes back. But this is a smaller price stock, so it moves really easily, right? So $19 to $23, that's a 20% gain already, right? So this is, I don't own this one just because when it moves very fast on both sides, and it's just too illiquid for me, and so I just don't usually trade stocks like that. But but it has high potential, so instead I have other names, But like I said, you can see from the top 10 like what the comprise, and who knows, it could change very fast. Next week, right? So let's see. Yeah, actually, sorry, that was a week. That was from a day ago. Okay, so here, this is the latest one that I download. 4 technology, 2 industrial, or 3 industrial, 2 commodities, 1 health, 1 health. So technology, industrial seems to be leading, which makes sense. Yeah. But you can see second place, like commodities is like right behind, right? It's really strong too. So I don't know. It's like I said, they're gonna be I think it's going to be like that. It's going to be like back and forth, like in terms of leadership. But at the stock level, you know, it's going to be the most difficult to figure out which one's it's going to be the best. So, yeah. But it's not the names that I thought it would be, right? It's not Enphase. It's not Celsius. It's not Shockwave. It's not the names that everyone been talking about. So I don't know. Like it's really interesting, right? So yeah. Like Rambus. I like to. It's it's really, see how tight this is? Holy cow. Really tight trading. I love this. This is so tight. The health stock that people talk about, the MEDP, like I like this one just because, you know, I keep saying, right, when you have this like nice big gap up and then you build a flag, this is like almost like that. And then it's gonna break out, it's gonna be strong. Okay. This is exactly the type of like, you know, technical indicators you want to see. This is how like strong stocks move. You know, and we talk about ACDC. The only one that I don't really look at, like AMKR and HES is newer to me. I don't own it right now, but they're moving strong. You can see 1-day pullback right here. They're still in the base. This is yeah, chip related too. HES, commercial service leasing. Yeah, 1-day pullback, moving up nicely. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many stocks, it's unbelievable, that are doing well right now. So yeah, even though, you know, those three names that I mentioned that were supposed to be leader from, you know, the June rally didn't participate right now. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but anyhow, but you know, so there's little worries there about the leadership quality, but these are leaders too. It's just not those three leaders, you know. So, you know, if every that's the thing. If everyone, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but if everyone on Twitter is talking about those three stocks, then obviously everyone's not going to make money. But you have all these other stocks that are, you know, leading the market. So that, you know, yeah, it's very interesting, right? So at the end of the day, you gotta do your homework. Is what it comes down to. So, you know, because it definitely is. Like I think Enphase might be on this. Yeah, it's down here. I mean, it's not bad, like 17%, but it's not. You know, it's not at the top, right? It's, like I say, I'm not saying it's bad. Don't, you know, it's just not at the top. Like, okay, Shortwave is the worst one. It's down from a month ago, and Celsius is up only 3%. So, like I said, those are the three stocks that everyone always talk about from June. But now we have all these different names that you know, that some people like Jim Robel have this guy, San talks about Wing. You know, this one no one talks about. Like, it's crazy. Boeing. I don't own it, but Boeing, oh my god, it's moving like crazy. Look at this chart, right? Look at this. Look at this. It's not even a pullback. The red day should look like a pullback. It didn't even make a new low. Look at this. Red day didn't make a new low. This is how strong this stock is, you know? But that's the funny thing. Like we 100 billion cap stock moving like a big growth stock, you know? It's crazy. Like, you know, yeah. Credo, I used to trade it. I haven't looked at it in a while. It must have came up. But this one is smaller cap, so it's definitely. But look how tight it trade for a small cap stock. That's amazing. Like that's tight. That's tight. Look at this run and tightness, right? This is you. This is exactly what you want to see in a technical strength. So you know, this is in internet network solutions. So yeah, this guy was out of the scene for a while, and now he's coming back so fast. Look at that. So like I said, there's lots. That's the funny thing. Like, you know, these are names probably no one even talk about. So, but they're doing really well. Yeah, yeah. But you know, you can't. That's the thing. Like I think because the earnings are mostly over, you're not gonna have too many surprise now. This list is gonna be more static now. So in terms of like which stocks come up and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to see like, which one's gonna lead the market. Like I said, I think the top 20, 30 stocks here are gonna be the, like, for sure, the the top 3 stocks leader will be probably in the top 30 right now. They already shown their move, is what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on is every day look at the top 30 here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll see. Like, it's crazy how 2 days make such a big difference in the market. Because I think on Wednesday, I was losing some hope too. I was like, oh my God, is this going to turn down big? Like if CPI could have went the other way and everything would have went down here. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't. So now we're gonna have another leg up, is what I'm trying to say. So, and S&P hitting 4,100 is pretty good because that's like how many percent? So we at, okay, 4,000, 4,100. I guess that's not too far. It's like 2.5% actually. It's not that far away. 2.5, 3%. So yeah, I think we're gonna reach there, and then it'll probably pause. So, but sometimes it's also good when market pause because, or even go down slightly to see which stock actually doing the opposite, right? So it'll be, like I said, from every week, it's, when we talk, it's gonna be very interesting to see which one's gonna lead. But like I said, SMCI, I think was the big one standout from last week to this week. AEHR too. I think most of this, I can't remember last week which ones, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll have to monitor this now. More focus on which stocks are gonna continue to lead. Yeah. All right, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I have my book, Read Like a Stock Market Wizard, with Mark Minogue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start hopefully soon.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, we can talk about that too, like in our meeting, because I actually really like the book so much. So like, there's so many little things that like I try to highlight it and stuff. Come back and read it again and again, right? So yeah, awesome, man. All right, man. You
Yeah.
take care. Talk to
You
you
too.
later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Have a nice day. Yeah.